Literally, we are so close to Wuthering Waves coming out, and I am getting stoked more and more every day. I am so pumped for this game. And of course, that means that we're getting closer to some of these wonderful characters that we've been talking about. At least we've been talking about the 4-stars. And the final 4-star that I haven't been able to talk about just yet is Danjin. Now, Danjin is going to be a fun character from what it looks like. So if you like this type of content where we look into, characters' kits, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below and hit that notification bell to be notified of when the next Wuthering Waves video comes out. And of course, leave a comment about what you think about Danjin. Now, of course, we're sponsored by the ever wonderful Gamer Subs. Make sure you use code TASTRA for 10% off. Guys, by the time this video comes out, we have a pre-order for a brand new waifu cup that looks absolutely insane. I think that this is probably one of their best waifu cups yet, and it's called Fix Me. If you haven't checked it out yet, go to gamersubs.gg. Make sure you use code TASTRA for 10% off on your pre-order. And it's just so delicious, man. It's so good. But without any further delay, let's go ahead and talk about Danjin, right? Danjin is going to be a Havoc sword user, right? So Havoc is, an element. It's almost like dark, I guess, in a way. So, but let's go ahead and talk about his kit here, or her kit. Is it her? Is she a she? Okay, yep, it's a her. Okay, it's kind of hard to tell with some of these characters, but yeah, it's definitely she. I'm a terrible person. Let's go ahead and talk about execution, the basic attacks. Now, Danjin is able to have 3 consecutive attacks that cause havoc damage, which is pretty normal. Heavy attack, obviously, mid-air attack, dodge counter, and of course she has a different dodge counter called Ruby Shades. After a successful dodge counter, Danjin uses the resonance skill Crimson Fragment to perform resonance skill Crimson Erosion. Now, let's go ahead and talk about Crimson Fragment, which is the resonance skill. When casting Incinerating Will, each attack consumes 3% of Danjin's max HP, and when Danjin's HP is less than 1%, this no longer consumes HP. So think of it kind of like a Hu Tao type of thing, where you could constantly consume your HP, but you're not going to, ever die of your own volition, right? We got the Carmine Gleam. Danjin attacks the target, dealing havoc damage. And then we go into that Crimson Erosion that we were talking about just recently in the basic attacks. After basic attack 2, dodge counter, or intro skill Vindication, use resonance skill to perform up to 2 consecutive strikes, dealing havoc damage. When Crimson Erosion 2 hits a target, apply Incinerating Will to it. And then we go to Incinerating Will, which we've heard twice already. Danjin's damage dealt to targets marked with Incinerating Will is increased by 20%. So you're getting a 20% damage increase from just basically like attacking and using your dodge counters, right? Which is insane. You're using normal freaking stuff for your characters to perform tasks, or I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Basically what I'm saying, you stick to playing your character as they're intended to in regards to, like, basic attacks and such, and actually playing the game using all the mechanics at your disposal, and you'll be able to get these like extra bonus attack buffs, or damage buffs. And then of course we got the Sanguine Pulse. Use resonance skill after basic attack 3 to perform up to 3 consecutive attacks, dealing havoc damage. So what I'm getting from that is that you're going to be like basic attack, resonance skill, and then you get to do that. And that's what's really cool about this game, is that combo attacks are going to be like a big feature to this game. So if you like games like Devil May Cry and stuff like that, you'll get stuff like that. If you like Devil May Cry and stuff like that, you'll get trust me, in my mind it makes sense. But if you basically what I'm saying, if you play those types of games, this game will make a lot of sense to you. Now, of course, we have the Resonance Liberation Crimson Bloom. Danjin's anger intensifies as she frantically swings her dual blades, performing multiple rapid consecutive attacks and 1 Scarlet Burst attack, dealing havoc damage. I can't wait to see what that looks like, because Danjin looks like she's going to be an absolute batshit insane character. So I'm risking my monetization for y'all by saying that, just so you know. Serene Vigil, heavy attack, Chaos Cleave. After accumulating 60 Ruby Blossoms, long press basic attack to consume all Ruby Blossoms to cast Chaos Cleave, dealing havoc damage considered as heavy attack damage, and restore HP for Danjin. So basically you're getting your stuff back, right, through your Foretaste circuit, which is really, really cool. Basically you're losing all that HP, you're going to gain HP back after doing a heavy attack with the Ruby Blossoms, right? If current Ruby Blossom reaches over 120, the skill consumes 120 Ruby Blossoms to increase the damage multiplier of Chaos Cleave and Scatter Bloom performed this time. So if you risk losing more HP, you'll be able to do more damage later on. So if you do 60, you heal yourself, but if you do 120, you're going to get a damage multiplier, which is, in my opinion, a lot better as it is. So I would definitely go for that. Heavy attack Scatter Bloom. Use basic attack after heavy attack Chaos Cleave to cast Shatter to attack the target, dealing havoc damage considered as heavy attack damage. And then, of course, we got Ruby Blossom. Danjin obtains Ruby Blossom when using Resonant skill Crimson Fragment. So every time you use your skill, you get Ruby Blossoms. How many? It looks like only one, so that might be the downside. However, we'll see how that goes, because it might be more than just one. Now, Danjin's passive skills, we got Crimson Light, damage of Resonant skill Crimson Erosion triggered by dodge counter Ruby Shades is increased by 20%. The HP cost and stacks of Ruby Blossom recovered are doubled, which already that's awesome, because I was already scared about the Ruby Blossoms taking forever to actually get there. But if by the time you get this first Ascension passive, you're able to obtain more, you're basically able to obtain more Ruby Blossoms. So maybe Danjin is a character that might be better later game than early game, because you might be stuck with not being able to output enough to get through everything. So Overflow, after casting the Resonant skill Sanguine Pulse, Danjin's heavy attack damage is increased by 30% for 5 seconds. So already Danjin is going to be that massive burst of damage. It looks like if you're a Danjin main, you're a main DPSer. So then, of course, we got our switch skills. Vindication, use Unwavering Determination. With Unwavering Determination, Danjin unleashes a strike, dealing havoc damage. And then Duality, the next character gains 23% havoc damage, deepened for 14 seconds, or until the character is switched off field. Now, Danjin seems like a pretty dang good DPS, and as you could see, Wuthering here, or Wuthering G-Lab, actually puts them in S tier, which, if we look at the tier list, right, the only other 4-star DPS that outpaces them is going to be Mortify. So if you get either of these two, your account's going to be really, really good, in my opinion. Danjin seems like a fun character overall, but again, it's going to be a heavy investment with your HP. So you might want to scale just a little bit in HP, but I don't know. Like, it's tough to say. It doesn't look like any of these scale with just HP. But who knows? Maybe I'm just crazy. So, but overall, Danjin looks like she's going to be a fun character. I like Hu Tao in Genshin Impact, so Danjin seems like a very, very solid choice for me to go into. And if you like Hu Tao as well in Genshin Impact and you're wanting to go into Wuthering Waves, I would say search for Danjin as a 4-star character if you're not able to pull a 5-star rather quickly, right? And that's going to be it for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to entertain you. We'll be back again with another Wuthering Waves video very, very soon. And of course, we will be doing some streams of Wuthering Waves as well. I'm pretty stoked on it. So anyways, y'all, that's going to be it. Love you all to death. And as always, we will catch you in the next video. Please take care and be safe.